Warning, to demonstrate what this boat was truly capable of, we did things that are unlawful and very dangerous, and we don't recommend that you guys do them. Be safe out there. Anybody who's followed this channel for a while knows about the yak killers. They've also known what I've done, the lengths I've went through, all the headaches to try and turn these very basic boats disregarded by the public into elite fishing vessels that pound for pound were unbeatable by anything out there. Unfortunately, the only way you would ever be able to have one of these is if you built it yourself and went through all the headaches and the cost. But now, things have changed. There is now a mainstream yak killer, a production tiny boat made for the masses. What would take somebody weeks and essentially months to build out, depending on how complex it is, this thing is just already pre-molded with hatches and storage that is very generous, along with all the major components that a boat needs to be successful, all the while not really being much bigger or weighing much more than one of the standard elite level kayaks, and also being very transportable. One person, you could do it either way. Trailer it, freehand it, trailer and then freehand it into an unlaunchable area of the lake, and then get back in there and do your thing. But it's not just how portable it is, it's how capable it is for the portability. It's unmatched by anything out there on the market today. It is fishable by 2 people, and it barely has a draft. From going out by yourself with a minimalist setup and a trolling motor like this on a small body water, to getting on plane and getting out to major sections on a big lake, this boat can truly do it all. So let's dive right in, dig deep, and get to the core of what truly brings this boat to what it is. Just to let you guys know, we are an authorized dealer at our 3 locations. We have a shop out of the Midwest in Pekin, Illinois, and we also have a shop out of the Southeast in Oxford, Georgia. And also on the West Coast, we finally are in Lake Havasu City, here with Justin at Southwest Kayaks. I've also been testing out the Autoboat GPS adapter on these super basic trolling motors like this Minn Kota Endura C2, and I really like it. Pretty much puts it on par with any other elite level GPS trolling motor out there. All the important stuff like nav point, anchoring, electronic steering, and you can even use an app to give you more features like track recordings and routes and other stuff. This unit is going to level the playing field entirely. It's going to fit on pretty much virtually all watercraft, like inflatables, like small little plastic boats like the Palm Prowler or the Bass Raider. Or if you have to add a front transom adapter, like it's so much easier just to put that thing on. It's way less invasive than having to put on a quick release plate for a standard trolling motor that is GPS capable. This thing is the best value, the most sleek, low profile, and easiest thing, and it's also way cheaper than the next competitor. We will be doing a full video on this unit, and that's actually the next video that's coming up in query right before we start the John Boat series. A long time ago on Instagram, somebody tagged me with this boat, and then I was looking at its features, and when I saw it, I thought to myself, finally, somebody has been paying attention, that maybe people want something like this, about the size of a kayak and about the same weight, but stores gear and handles like a regular fishing boat. It's already built up with pretty much everything you need. It's got 3 of these little day boxes, which are really handy. It's got a nice generous front stow. This I would refer to as a day box. What I would use this for, and what I have been using this for, is a day box. It's immediately followed by 2 major deck stows that can store a lot of things. I mean, that's a cooler, life jackets, other spare tackle bags, and it's even got a full self-bailing deck with scupper holes that you can plug up here with these. It's got 4 cup holders, 8 vertical rod holders, and 5 T-tracks, all strategically placed throughout the boat. And it's even got these side brackets here for dollies, which we'll show you later. The main stow for the rods is in the back right, with an additional accessory stow back here for the co-angler. And it has an extremely generous back stow. You should be able to rig anything you need. A 3-gallon or a 6-gallon gas tank, plus batteries, plus whatever. For only 12.8 feet long, it has so much storage you'll probably struggle to fill it all up. And it's got some really solid features like this solid aluminum transom bracket that goes from the bottom all the way up, with a drain plug underneath the subfloor, and it's also filled with a fair amount of foam to keep the boat rigid and obviously for buoyancy. Its rating is questionable though. 300 pounds person's, 400 pounds person's motor and gear. So that's not a whole lot. You guys are probably thinking that's way too little and this boat's unsafe. We thought the same thing initially, except for this kayak is rated for more than the boat, which to me makes no absolute sense. So we're gonna go ahead and just try this boat with an open mind, because after looking at it and seeing what it's like, what it's shaped like, what the bottom beam width is, and also the draft, which has to be underneath those scupper holes. So it's gonna be a very shallow draft. So who really knows? Let's go ahead and load on this trailer and try it out. So just wondering how stable this thing really is. Like when I get on it, is it gonna teeter all the way over to one side, or what's gonna happen? Got on it with relatively no trouble, you know, and after standing on side to side, there is a little bit of roll variance, but it's predictable and it's not real quick and twitchy. It's about as stable as I'd say like a 1236 or 1436 John boat. It's not bad, really. I'm steering it around on just a basic trolling motor in the back, using the Autoboat setup on a 40-pound trolling motor because I forgot my outboard, and I also woke up late, forgot a bunch of other things, and it's really hot outside, so I'm just gonna try and get a feel for what it is, and then I'm gonna make less mistakes tomorrow. As far as stability goes, I give it like a C+ on the spectrum of boats, like for tiny boats, but then I give it maybe an A+ for its size. It's actually very nice. You know, the little bit of roll variance it has is very predictable. You know what to expect. And if you're walking down the core, which I'm walking down the core most of the time when I've got rods on the deck, and it's really stable if you just stay right in the core, because the bottom beam width is I think 39 inches, 38 inches. It's pretty wide. Considering a 1436 John boat is fairly stable itself. What'll be a big teller is when you get up there and telling whether or not the front end is going to droop down, because that is an issue with John boats this size where the front always sinks. This boat is relatively flat all the way up, with a very exception of 2 feet in there in the front. Other than that, it's a completely symmetrically flat bottom that fits right on a 4x8 sheet of plywood. I didn't feel scared or didn't feel sketchy. I wasn't in fear of falling in. I felt very stable and comfortable standing right in the core. And when I did stand on the side, I knew predictably it was going to sink about this much. It really needs a 2-man test. That's coming up here in a little bit. That way we'll really see if just standing simply in the core and having good foot balance is going to be able to do that. Because in a 1232 or even a 1236 John boat, one of you almost always feels like you're going to fall in. Where almost a 1436 is needed bare minimum for 2 people of decent weight to go fishing together. But this boat actually has really impressive stats elsewhere. It was created in Brazil, where they really test it well beyond what the USCG has rated this boat for here in the US.
What I was worried about was possibly water staying in it here from the scupper holes, but no, it just drains right out. It really is. The boat stays mainly dry most of the time. I haven't had any issues of water retention or problems because of this self-bailing deck. If I'd had this around back when I had to build my Yak Killer, I would have never built it, because this would have been enough. I would have this thing's gonna really enrich the lives of any tackle junkie who needs a boat this small and light to get places. It is the boat to have.
One very irritating comment I always get from the multitude is, whoa, for all that money you spent on this thing, you could have got a used tracker or a used bass boat. Why do you stick all that money in these things? Well, I have 10 boats. I don't know if these people do any research. Probably not. But don't you think I would use one of my 10 boats for the purpose of this if it could do it? No. Fact is, portability matters. Having something this capable and portable is huge. This really is so good because it is a full bass rig or a full skiff, a full portable elite fishing boat that is so light. I mean, with these dollies, you really can just take it and go. You don't have to be very strong. It can go right in the back of a truck bed and stow and deploy right off it, just like how we stow and deployed it right off of this trailer. You can trailer it, and then if you're in a spot where it's unlaunchable, then you can just free launch it with your hand right in the water. You can go to remote places. The max draft is really all the way up to that scupper hole. It doesn't draft past the scupper hole. Well, trolling from the back wasn't bad. I mean, I could spot lock the boat, but I couldn't nav point the boat, and nav point is my actual favorite feature of GPS in the trolling motors. Steering the boat without having to hold the tiller or even look at the motor, that was pretty cool, but it was just not my cup of tea. To me, the trolling motor belongs up on the front like this, and so what I did, instead of augmenting the hole and adding a whole plate like you have to do with an XI3 or any of the other ones, I just got a quick transom bracket that you would install in the kayak and installed right onto the skiff, right in the front grab bar and right the front T-track that's placed strategically for, honestly, I think for this. No damage to the hull.
But right here, it can spin in any direction however it wants, and it's pretty good. Like right now, it's fine.
A GPS-capable trolling motor is something that if you've never had it, then you would never know what you're missing, but once you do know, you can never unknow it. So you'll do anything to get it. Your ability to concentrate on actual fishing versus whether or not your boat's gonna crash or go off course is huge. So I really love this unit because I was gonna put a GPS trolling motor on this thing no matter what. That means I was gonna spend anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 for a decent one. And no, not an XI3. I got a million comments when I released the Autoboat about the XI3 and it's what you guys use and it's getting you guys through fishing so far, but there's a reason I've never put not one of those units on my boats, and I never will. The auto boat went on anchor mode, and when we had it in the nav point, I'll tell you, it held tight, like just as good, if not better, than anything out there. I think like Ming Koda's like spot lock and like nav heading technology was the best out there. This is very comparable, if not better in some situations, to it. To top it off, the unit also comes with an app, and you can mark fishing spots in track recordings, and you can even follow those tracks later on the route just with your phone. That means no more having to buy the big expensive graphs that only work with that trolling motor just to get those features. And I've always hated it, but that's how the market is ran. One of the only add-ons that ever circumvented that was ProNav Angler, which did the same thing like this does, but it does it for a power drive. And so for bigger boats that need a trolling motor like a power drive, that unit was fantastic. But for smaller boats like this, where just having something like that is just bigger and bulkier and unnecessary if you can get around that, this is perfect. A lot of times you spend less but also get less. There's very rare occasions when you can get something that you spend less and you actually get more out of, and when that thing comes out, it generally dominates the market. There are some things you need to be consciously aware of when you're using this, because you are retrofitting a non-GPS trolling motor to a GPS trolling motor, but aside from those few things, it is rock solid. Now that we've covered all that, let's get back to some of the other key features of this boat.
I'm not gonna frog this and might crank it. I kind of like this because I really actually, we talked about kayak fishing versus jumbo fishing. Like, I did like that, your rods are right here. But what I really like is having both, because I do like the kayak storage too. This is pretty freaking nice. I love this thing. The day boxes are awesome. I wasn't sure how I would like them. They're a little small. I wish there would be a deeper cup for like bigger phones. Then they would be perfect. They're a little shallow, but it's okay. I like the little tray holder back here for the pliers and stuff, and specifically because I don't have a little tool holder, which is what I normally have like here in the cockpit. I don't have one, which I'm going to fix that very quickly, but we do have one right here.
All right, so I took it carefully from the beginning. I tried it out with just a simple trolling motor. That was all right. It was kind of slow, and then there was, the experiences you have back there with the trolling motor. I swear that doesn't happen a lot, trust me. Then I tried it with my favorite electric outboard, the Spirit 1.0. Was a fantastic fit considering this boat is only rated for a 6 horse in the US, but in Brazil it's rated for a 9.9 in a larger weight capacity. It's even rumored that 2 people with a 15 horse get in it and do just fine. I told this to Richard, and Richard talked me into actually doing it.
It's on. Yeah, I don't know if you told me, you gotta pace yourself.
Yeah, at no point is this gonna be sketchy.
That'll be all right.
Yeah, make sure that thing's tight.
Yeah, it wasn't tight. It's on there now. 5. Okay, ready? Good?
Yep.
Okay, so far so good. The transom didn't explode, and when it's on plane, the boat is actually very stable and takes waves much better than I thought. considering most of the boat is actually flat with a superficial front point. We also haven't messed with a trim pin adjustment, and we don't have a jack plate on. But I'm thinking with the right trim pin adjustment and the right height, we could have seen 25 or better with 2 people out of, I think this is a 10-pitch prop stock that comes with these. Oh man.
Oh, just going in the water.
Don't say that. We're not going in the water. I refuse.
We good?
There's that type of wake all over from us from all these jet skiers and power boats.
I came back out today on the same stretch. The only difference between this morning and now is that we got out here way faster. That's the only thing I would have changed this morning, where it took me forever with that 3-horse to get out here. And we got out here in like minutes, and we were on these toolies. Right there in the gray light is when this spot would have been fire this morning. But we're going to try and salvage the end of the day and see what we can pull out.
Oh, Richard, you're such a nice guy. I mean, almost a nice guy. You gonna get this fish? Sweet. Hey, first largemouth on the skiff. Hey, dude.
I'm not driving this in the wind.
No, it's almost much as this ocean. We're in here. Go for it. What's gonna hit the buoy? They're gonna hit the buoy.
That's what I'm trying to say. Take it on board.
Prepare to get splashed again.
That's the boat.
Since Richard is soaking wet, he wants to go ahead and do the fall off and get back in the skiff test. Whenever you're ready. Oh, that was like super easy. You made it sound like it was impossible.
I thought it was good tilt board.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really excited about this boat. It exceeded all my expectations. I did not think that it would do this well. I had no idea. Personally, I just looked at it. Obviously, I liked it. It has my layout, big deck, tiny cockpit, max efficiency. So I liked how it looks, but I really like how it performs. This will probably be my primary yacular boat for a while. Like, I might give my other ones away to some people I trust and just main this thing for a while, because it's more portable. It's lighter. I can pick this thing up and take it everywhere. I mean, without having 2 people and it just being terribly strainful on me. And then it's just also capable of fishing 2 people, where my other boats are really just only capable of fishing 1. And it can do most of the things the other 2 can. So it's a win. It like wins. I mean, you can't deny it. The thing is beastly. And then we did some other mods to it. Like, I'm making a bow plate right now. I thought the grip bar here, to hold the butt ends in place, and running these down here, the one thing, the advantage of the skiff, completely flat. Disadvantage is there's no sidewalls to stop things from falling off, but the advantage is there's no bow plate or walls to taper how far your rods can actually go forward. So we're almost able to bring them all the way up on the top plate here. That gives us room to walk down the core and run 3 on each side. Plus we have cup holders. We cut out the spots with the cup holder and the rod holder, and obviously the day box. And we were able to stiffen up the front tremendously by running a bar to attach this whole thing. But this is just a prototype. I'm going to run the same adapter I had up front here, off the side here. Now I can actually have full range of the trailer and have it just butt up here, and we'll make some sort of grip thing that clasps the actual front here, which is good because there's no D-ring because it's plastic, and this will work just fine. It's up front. It's in a good enough position to where it'll do well. Really had fun using the outer boat prototype. The pre-sale's going on. The finished product will be even better than what you saw here. And when it hits the States, it's gonna be a big deal. We also have turf kits. Our shop scanned the entire boat in the most crucial spots and we have turf kits. This one doesn't have as much as it should because it has parts for the front, but the front's covered by bow plates, so they weren't added. But the major compartments that you stand on that need that protection, that you need that grip and you need that heat dissipation, it's really, really crucial. Rather you get a turf kit from us, which is relatively cheap, I will say, for any turf kit. Generally it's like $3-4 grand. For these, it's only like $400 for the whole boat. You turf the whole boat, any color you want. This color, I was supposed to get a storm gray boat, but I ended up getting a tan boat. I stuck this on there anyways because, hey, it was here and we paid for it. So, but I could have ran like cut groove camo hydroturf down this and it would look really sick on this tan skiff for like duck hunting or just a backwoods boat that drafts real shallow. Take these off if you're gonna trailer it, because all I do is catch water when you turn. I mean, if you're not going very fast, it doesn't matter, but if you're getting on plane, these things, they really were like inhibiting. Yeah, the turf came out real nice. It's in all the crucial spots. In here though, I used gator skins on the bottom. I just cut them in the same length because like in here, the gas tank's in here and stuff. I don't want turf actually being there. Like, but turf is here in like, there are these grooves everywhere for water to channel out to the scupper holes eventually. With the scupper holes there's no need for a bilge. There's really no need to really wire this boat if you're never going to take it out at night. And you can actually get pretty sick, like rechargeable, like LEDs now. And so I don't really know if I'm ever going to wire this boat. I have the vision of wanting to put Panoptics on here. So I have been thinking about the best way to do that. I want to run double graphs on this. I just got to figure out how to do it. And then I got to make a mount for the Panoptics since I can't get away with what I got away with on the kayak or on the Pond Prowler. I think this is the most awesome thing ever. And I tell you guys, take advantage of the pre-sale for sure, because this is a truly awesome system. I didn't know how much I would really enjoy it, especially, I mean, I'm so used to a foot control, so I can use both hands to fish, and that, that's advantage versus like using one-handed fish and then obviously kind of autocorrect. But I really didn't have to autocorrect it that much. I thought I would because I had to do that with all my Ultrexes. This one, when I set it to nav point, it drove itself. If you set it to routes, like if you take the time to go and cruise the lake and make your routes and your points and you come and you mark those and then later on you want to just hit follow, you really don't have to touch this. And you really don't have to worry about balancing issues on this boat by having one foot on the trolling motor and then figuring that out. I mean, there is no room for a butt seat here. So having both feet free to balance yourself was pretty crucial. So I do actually like the remote system better. Right, so what was the aftermath of using that 15 horse? Not that I can see of. No cracking. The only thing was this. Clearly, this transom bracket, the hardware used on here was not rated for that, and it started coming loose. Pretty sketch. So, Nylox and better hardware would probably have taken care of that, so we will be doing that immediately, because that's very scary. And then water started getting in here. It has a full drain plug down here, which generally stays bone dry, but I guess we couldn't actually figure out where the water came because there was no cracks or deformations to the holes. Then I figured out it was getting through here the whole time. So that's over now. If you want to see these boats, if you want details, check us out on tbnation.net. Search Lite Skiff, and it comes right up. You can see all the details, all the stats, all the different options for colors. You can even put add-ons like the boat dollies or the turf kits. Check out one of our locations. If we're within your region, definitely might be worth a drive to come and scoop one up and put it in your truck bed. We possibly can work out shipping with you, but shipping is definitely not guaranteed. It's a case-by-case basis. It's actually really hard to ship this, just like it is hard to ship a large kayak. So on a case-by-cases, these can be shipped, but you got to be willing to go with what it takes to ship one of these. Anyway, guys, let me know what you want done extra to this. Possibly some anchors in the back. We'll figure out something. We'll make this thing sick. It's going to be the primary Yak Killer style tiny boat that I'm going to be rocking for a while now. Can't wait to take this on more places. Can't wait to take this up to northern Arizona and put it on the small lakes and see how it does there. I'm ready, guys. All right, see y'all out there.